This is the timeline of everything that's happened from September 2022 to now. In September 2022, I met my baby daddy one day, like September 17th. I did his hair. He didn't leave my side for 2 weeks straight. I got pregnant like October 3rd.
Hold on. First off, the caption of this video says, I don't think anybody else has a worse baby daddy than me. How quickly did she get pregnant?
I met my baby daddy one day, like September 17th. I did his hair. He didn't leave my side for 2 weeks straight. I got pregnant like October 3rd. Didn't know I got pregnant. Didn't know I was pregnant. Found out November 1st. He was messing with another girl. Me and that girl got into it. Fast forward November 20 something. We found out I was pregnant November 1st. November 20 something. He cheated on me. He gave me an STD. Me and that girl still get into it. Fast forward, we had Thanksgiving at his mama's house. His mama, or not his mama's house, but at his family house. His mama takes my face and kisses me on the forehead. She was so happy that her son was off his hands. Mind you, he don't have a car, a job, or any place to stay. So what I got, a car, a job, and a place to stay, right? I really hate telling y'all how dumb I was. I need to say
This is the type of information CIA agents are trained to torture out of you.
That when I met that man, I was like, no family, no friends, super depressed. You attract what you are at that moment. That's how I attracted such a low bio human being. A man that would cheat on me while I was pregnant because I wasn't loving myself at the time. So of course I'm not going to attract somebody that loves me. But hey, during the midst of all that, I'm getting into it with his friends. His friends are in a group chat talking about, if you want to fight me, just say that. Like talking to me because they know I read his messages. So friends not respecting me. He has nobody in his life that respects me. He's called me his ex name while I was pregnant. My whole pregnancy, he would say to me, oh, I don't want our daughter to have this of you. Or like, he just tore me down so bad, he called me ugly every chance he got in so many different ways, but called it joking. This man was driving my car up and down the road, down to Anderson and everywhere else to go pick up his family and go to work and stuff. But when it came time to pay my car payment, because I wasn't working when I was pregnant, I was too sick to work for real. He was complaining about paying my car payment. Okay, fast forward to the birth of our child. 5 days after our child, well, let's stop there. I went to the hospital. I had to go to the first doctor's appointment by myself because he didn't know if I wanted him to go. Mind you, I didn't know I'm not supposed to be driving a car after I give birth. I didn't know that I'm not supposed to be picking heavy stuff up after I give birth. This is like a couple days after I've given birth. I'm picking up a stroller, a car seat, a diaper bag, and going through the mall. I'm also freaking out because I'm postpartum. My baby is screaming in the backseat. I don't know my way around the hospital, and then I have to lug everything up to the hospital. So, and he's at home in the bed. He did not want to. He told me we both were supposed to start a job the same day after our baby was born. We started a job on the same day. He told me that since my job was work from home, I need to be up with the baby at night because he has to prepare for when he gets ready to go to work. This is before we started the jobs. He just said he needed to be up with the baby. 5 days after our baby was born, he was at the casino. And I'm like, why are you going to the casino? I had already had panic attacks with my kid. Like, I was having panic attacks because I gave her a passy. She choked on it and it freaked me out. I didn't sleep.
Speechless. 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 That poor child.
For 2 days. He's at the casino leaving me at home with her by myself after I just didn't sleep for 2 days and had panic attacks. And his mom and the rest of them was like, you got to just let him go. He just needs to go. And he told me that my friend should have took me out after I had a baby instead of him taking me out or getting me flowers or getting me anything after just giving birth to his child. But okay. Fast forward. So I'm not working because I just had a baby. I was braiding hair up until 9 months pregnant. I'm not working because I just had a baby. So the rent is due for July. He goes and spends $200 on a tattoo of our baby's feet. And expects me to pay my half of the rent knowing I haven't been working. So, mind y'all, we was very broke at the time. Anyways, so
we are not surprised. You did not need to put that. This is free information she's giving out. She should just play the freaking video. Okay, my bad.
I broke up with him because the story he told me, since my name is in the apartment, I'm like, if we get evicted, it's going to be my name. Like, it's going to be on my credit. I'm going to be messed up. And he like, well, then you're just going to have to be messed up. So I broke up with him. Okay, after breaking up with him, we get into it so bad. I'm trying to lay ground rules. I'm trying to talk about boundaries. I'm trying to talk about stuff we don't want and do want. This man calls me a B, like literally gets into it with me, calls me a B word. It's just, as soon as and then he had my car when I broke up with him. So I went to his mom's house to get it back. His sister wouldn't even open the door for me. Like, the whole family was cold shoulder. I don't know what he told them that I did to him, but that was all cold shoulder from the jump. They didn't even want to speak to me or say, hey, like I hadn't just seen them. But whatever. So we just have a long, ongoing back and forth, regular baby mama drama. He goes weeks without seeing the kids. I'm working from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day with my baby because he doesn't want to see her. He told me he didn't want to see her because I was posting stuff on Facebook about him. So he goes weeks without seeing her. It was a bunch of times where he was saying he wasn't going to give her back to me. I had to call the police on him because he doesn't legally have custody to do that. He left her on the doorstep one time. Just all types.
Poor kids, man.
Some crazy stuff that he was doing or whatever, and all I'm trying to get him to do is co-parent. Now, there was times where I was being a bitter baby mama and I definitely just wanted a family or whatever. I own up to that, but a lot of the times the stuff he was doing was unwarranted. Fast forward to, we're gonna skip over the December moment. Fast forward to January of 2024. I asked I'm gonna do a story time on this, but basically he had my baby around a girl that he cheated on me while I was pregnant with. And he had that girl in a room full of, like, in an apartment full of 7 people. He had that girl beat me up. And then they all lied and
What can you do? What can you do? At some point, that's all you can do. At some point, guys, that's when things get too much, man. I get to that point. Where the only thing left to do is just laugh. Because if I try to process any of this seriously and I think of this child, and think of how messed up the child's future is going to be, then you're caring a lot more than the actual parents care for that child. But insanity, bro.
made up a lie and saying I broke in there and just started going crazy on them with a knife, and I went to jail. And that's not even why. He's in the Army. He has taken my daughter off of his military stuff, and that is why he can't see my child anymore.
Where do you even start with this? Where do you even start with this? Legitimately speechless here. Let's read a few of these comments. I might have to let other people do the reaction to this because I'm still trying to gather all that just transpired. Top comment says, y'all say, how can this happen? But like she said, when you don't love your stop. You see, it's comments like this to let me know that places like the Coffee Pod and people who should be spreading awareness and saying you're ruining people's lives, that child's life is messed up, lets me know that they're just not going hard enough. With what? Warning young women about this. They're continuing the cycle of baby mama culture. Goes on to say mental health is shot and no support. It can happen. Excuses. Somebody else who says, that's too fast, mama. OMG. In less than 4 weeks, I think even 3 weeks, if I remember, September. Yeah. And then the next month, you decided to have a bum's baby. And yes, we're going to definitely call him a bum here. And you be the guy who, when she's done right there dealing with that, she's looking for who? Looking for you to come and clean up the mess. Somebody else here says, I don't wish a baby daddy on nobody. Another person here added, my face was scrunched up the whole time. Yeah. We got some other people here who were serving coffee. I'm just going to let them talk. I'm glad to see chicks actually chiming into this. Let's see what this chick had to say.
I just saw a video and I couldn't even finish it. A girl telling about her baby daddy and all of the things that he did to her. They met at the end of September. She's pregnant by October. He cheats on her and gives her an STD by November. Honestly, I couldn't finish watching the video. A few more snippets that I got. He didn't have a car, a job, nothing. He had nothing to offer, yet she was willing to risk her life and bring a child into this world with a father who doesn't even have a job or a car. I just be wondering, like, where does the logic come in? Where does the logic come in? Just by looking at her videos, doesn't seem like she's that well off or smart enough to be having a kid. And that's my problem. Go ahead and be stupid. Be dumb for any dude. But why do we continue to bring kids into this world knowing that there's no stability, no love, no relationship, no nothing? So we punish a child, bringing them into this world with the absent, deadbeat father. Why? Some accountability.
Yeah. You guys want to know an interesting fact about babies? Did you know that up to 85% of a baby's right side of the brain, and that's the side that handles emotion, is developed by age 3? Now, between that time, the role of the parents, and it's not just, listen, it's not just one parent, right? There's plenty of data to back this up. A child needs 2 parents. It needs a mother who is the main caretaker and needs somebody who's going to play that fatherly role. Ideally, they're biological parents, right? That's the first option. The next best thing is somebody to fill in those shoes. But babies aren't resilient. And so they don't know how to process emotions, right? There's no toughing up a baby because it's developing its brain. And by 3, most of its right side of the brain is formed. So any trauma that happens between the time the child is born up to 3 years old greatly affects how that child will be able to function in society moving forward. Yes, it does matter the type of dynamic that baby is born into, that child is born into. Let's read a few comments here in response to her video. This top comment says, met in September, pregnant by October. Sometimes you got to stop feeling sorry. Let people ruin their lives and go about your day, week, month, years, and life. Yeah. You see, you take in a lot of this content and, you hear people and you start taking each situation seriously. You're going to start taking on other people's problems that you realize they just willingly put themselves in. And you know what happens with women who say this and complain? What happens? They do it again. And then you're supposed to feel bad for them. At some point, you got to dust your feet off and leave. Somebody else here says, we always blaming the man, but it's like, at what point do we say no? Hold on. Okay, Kay. Is that a little bit of espresso right there? Interesting. A rare sight, everybody. Come see. Somebody else added on to her comment and says, it's like you're walking into a burning house and then start complaining about the house being on fire. Wow. Looks like we've got some accountability here. Somebody else says, I'm sorry, but pregnancy is very preventable. Whoa. Okay, Desi. Here's somebody else that says, it'd be the same storyline every time. Sick of hearing it. Okay, Lachey. Shout out to Lachey. Over here keeping it real. I like this comment section. Now, not sure if they like the coffee pod, but I like this comment section. Somebody else who says they think that having a baby is a prize. Yeah. And if you're fortunate enough and you stumbled on the coffee pot, maybe this episode, and you've seen these videos, let me warn you, do not, to the men, protect your seeds. To the women, do everything in your power to protect your womb from being in the type of situation where you're bringing a child into this world without a father. I don't think this point could be stressed enough. Stop baby mama culture. Somebody else here says it's the same storyline every time, just rearranged. It's the same series, huh? Somebody else here says, right? Just different fonts at this point. These are funny. Different fonts. They're laughing. Yeah, that's hilarious. Let's see what else we have. Just having kids to have them. They love misery. Yeah. Listen, and to the guys, man, stop hanging around bums. I hate to say it. Some of you are hanging around bums, right? These are your boys who you've been with, and he's on his second child with no plan of turning down, when it comes to how he's conducting himself out here. But, well, do not be deceived. Like the Bible says, evil company corrupts good character. Now, I'm not calling your friend evil. It's just simply a Bible verse, and you can apply it to situations of toxicity. Evil company corrupts good character. Don't ever think that you're too good to end up in this situation. Same thing with the chicks. All right, let's check out this guy's response.
Dumb as hell. Whatever. Dude comes to get his hair done. You do not know him. You get pregnant by him in 3 weeks. You find out that he's talking to other people and you still decide to keep the baby, and not only keep the baby, you don't leave him. And then he continues to mess with that same chick, and then you get a whatchamacallit. And you stay with him still. And then you proceed to say this.
His mama takes my face and kisses me on the forehead. She was so happy that her son was off his hands. Mind you, he don't have a car, a job, or any place to stay, so.
It's like y'all look, it's the consequences of my own actions. Bro ain't have a car, a house, a job. Bro was a bum when you met him. And not only did you get pregnant by him for only knowing him for 3 weeks, you decided to keep the baby. He cheated on you. You still decided to keep the baby. He gave you an STD. You still decided to keep the baby. She says, thank you for taking care of my bum son, because she don't have to do it no more. And you just hunky-dory. And now you on the internet complaining about a bum baby daddy. In a 2-month time frame, God himself gave you at least 10 red flags for you to skedaddle. I don't want to hear shit about no mental health at all, whatsoever. Y'all always saying shit like that and ain't never even been diagnosed. This is just plain idiotic stupidity.
And guys, I didn't mention it, but she even said in her video, she said, I was, in a place where I was thinking of deleting myself. Isn't it interesting that, and I'm not trying to downplay this at all, right? I think if you're in a place like that, you should find help, man or woman. But I do find it mighty interesting that when a chick does something that you just want to look at her and call her stupid for, and this is primarily with chicks, they have the perfect excuse. They have a perfect excuse. If she left the husband, I was getting abused. What type of abuse? I don't want to talk about